What's going on, ballers? Thanks so much for tuning in again, and welcome back to another BigJBasketball box break video. Today we are not breaking any boxes, but we're going to do a PSA and BGS submission preview. So I like doing these videos so I can look back and see, when I'm posting these, how long it takes for these to get done. We'll talk about what kind of grades I think some of these cards might get. So it's fun to go back and look at these after we get the cards back from PSA and BGS to see how long it took and how well we did on guessing those grades. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you get notified whenever we post new stuff. Did a really fun retail versus hobby break on Monday. Got more stuff coming later in the week, and we actually have a PSA submission that just popped and is on the way back to me right now, so I should have that reveal for next week. That's going to be a pretty big 25 card order coming back from PSA, so excited to see what grades we get on those. And let's go ahead and start looking through some of the stuff we're sending in now. So first two cards are actually two cards that I thought I might submit but didn't make the cut. So we got a Jalen Green Emergent Silver and Josh Giddey Instant Impact Green Wave. I thought being parallels, it might be worth sending these in, but I tried to look at what some of these are selling for now. Raw, these are only like $3 to $5 cards. They're not super valuable, but I thought maybe being a low pop PSA 10, they might sell for a lot, but I don't think so. The green waves are pretty rare, but no one really seems to care. I did see a Jalen Green green wave instant impact like this, PSA 10 that only sold for like $26. And same thing here. I think I saw a PSA 10 for, I forget what it was, but it was not really worth it. If I can't get even, $30 for these in a PSA 10, I don't think they're worth sending in. So two cards right there that I was gonna send in, but unfortunately didn't make the cut. Let's take a look at a couple cards going to BGS first. So had some success in the past with these glass cards. I sent in a Kevin Durant, which actually came back as a black label 10, which I recently sold, and a Devin Booker, which came back as a BGS pristine 10. So didn't quite get a black label, but did get the pristine 10. This Denny Avdia rookie glass case hit. This is going to be one for the PCs. This is what I'm definitely going to be keeping. So would love to get a black label on this one. I don't see anything that's different on this one than was on the KD or the Booker. So I would assume this would at least get a 10 pristine, but really hoping for a black label on that one. Next card. Tried to send this to PSA. So if you watched the last PSA reveal when I think we got these gold refractors back, might have been in the same submission. PSA said this did not meet their minimum size requirement. So bought this raw on eBay. Obviously I didn't trim it. Who knows what happened before I got it. So it doesn't look like it's trimmed, but again, sometimes cards do come out of packs just not meeting that size requirement. I know I've sent in some old 1990 hoop stuff that I know I ripped myself out of a pack, and those didn't meet minimum size requirements. So sometimes it just happens. But I'm gonna try BGS with this one, Ginobili rookie white refractor. I think it should get at least a BGS 8.5. I know centering's a little bit off. It's hard to see on camera, but there is a very kind of faint, not like a scratch, like a surface mark here. I don't think I can even pick it up on camera, but I did see it when I was packing this up. Yeah, you can't even see it. It's so minuscule. And edges, corners all looked good. So at least an 8.5, maybe a 9 if we can get some 9.5 subgrades on some of the corners and edges and things like that. So we'll see what happens with that one. This one I actually cracked out of a PSA case. That's got a PSA 8. That seemed pretty low to me. I mean, centering, surface, edges, corners on the front all looked really nice. The back had a little bit of white. So there's like a tiny bit of white down there, a little bit of white on the edge, a little bit of white up there. But again, it didn't seem bad enough that it would bring the grade all the way down to an 8. I think it should have gotten a 9. So I'm going to try going to BGS with this one, see if we can get a BGS 9 out of that one. And then one more that's going to BGS that this actually came back from PSA. It's with the same issue as the Ginobili white refractor rookie, the minimum size requirement. Again, bought this one. I think I actually got this off Instagram, but don't really know who had it in the years before that. But this is a really rare card, 11 out of 24, one of my rarest John Wallace cards. So just hoping we can get a grade from BGS in this one. It's, again, on the photo and in the video, it's hard to see, but there are kind of like some surface little smudges and things. I tried to wipe them off, but I couldn't quite get all of them. So might get dinged on the surface grade, but everything else looks pretty good about this. So we'll see what that comes back with. Hopefully at least they just grade it. So we might be looking at 2 ungraded cards from BGS depending on what happens with a few of those. Okay, now looking at our PSA. So we're sending these at the lowest $18 level. The bulk rate right now, actually there's a special, it's $15 for the bulk. That just got extended until the end of the year. So there's a couple that I cracked, trying to resub. Both these Kobe rookies got PSA 8s. I thought they may have been good enough for a 9, but actually when I cracked these, again, you can't see it on the video, but there are some very, very faint kind of lines on the surface. But everything else, I mean, edges, corners, especially with the black background, everything looked good. So it might have just been the surface that got dinged. So we'll see what happens. If these come back 8s again, I guess I'll just, give up and say they're both 8s. But I thought they maybe had a shot at 9. So we'll see what happens there. This Ginobili rookie, UD Glass, numbered 118 out of 250. Sent this to BGS thinking it might grade the same way like I've done with the other glass cards, but this one got dinged a little bit on a few of the items. So this only got a BGS 9. So I'm hoping it at least gets a PSA 9. I don't see anything on here that would bring this down to an 8. The card looked really clean overall. There are no PSA 10s of this card, so probably not a 10. I don't know if it, after 20 years, they're now going to give the first PSA 10 to this card. So hoping for a 9 on that one. We'll see what happens there. This was another one. Actually, both of these I cracked out as well. Ginobili stained glass, Curry, Obsidian, Tunnel Vision, Yellow Flood. Even when I cracked these, I looked them over again. I cannot find anything wrong with either of these cards. So I'm still not sure why these got 9s the last time I submitted them. But going to try again. If they come back 9s, I'll just, call it a day at that point. But hopefully at least one of these can get crossed up to a 10. So we'll see what happens there. The next bunch are all newer stuff. We got a Giannis Chronicles Legacy Purple Parallel, numbered 14 of 49. Pulled this out of pulled this one and this one out of the very same box. Chronicles Fanatics exclusive with the green ice. This one looked really good too. Both of these I think have a really good shot at a 10. Basically all these next more modern cards, I'm hoping for 10s on all these. So hoping for 10s on both of those. We got some Optic, Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham base rookies. These actually seem to grade pretty well. I know I've seen a lot of, when I pull these out of packs, I've seen a lot of centering issues, dimple issues on the front. But the ones that have been graded have all graded pretty well. So maybe people are just sending in the best copies they can find. And these were the 2 best of each of these cards that I could find that I pulled. So Jalen Green and Cade, hoping we can get 10s on both of those. Got another Giannis. This is T-321, the Green Shock Parallel. This was the exclusive from the Fanatics Blaster boxes. I doubt there's anyone else really grading this card, so this could be a big whiff if nobody wants to buy a graded card of it, but hoping that no one else is really thinking of grading this card. Maybe we can get a PSA 10 pop 1 on this one. Couldn't see any issues there. Got a bunch of Prizm now. Got a Jalen Green base rookie. Definitely hoping for a 10 on this one. I know centering has been rough on a lot of Prizm stuff. This one looked perfect to me. Couldn't find any other issues on the card. So hoping for a 10 on that. We got a couple orange ice. We got a Luka and a Mobley. Again, I've seen so much bad centering on a lot of these that everything else looks good. I didn't see any issues with edges or corners or surface, no dimples, no print lines, and centering looked good enough to me on both of these that I think they definitely are have a good shot at 10. So hoping we get some gems on those. These next 2, wouldn't be surprised if they got 9s, but really hoping for a 10. Pulled this Cade out of a Prizm Cello. So you can see the centering left to right is just a little bit off. It's a little thicker on the left than it is on the right, but I did some research to look up some PSA 10s of some other players and other Cade cards of this same parallel. And I've seen some centering that honestly looks even worse than this one that still got 10s. This definitely should be within the 60-40 range, 60 here, 40 there. It's probably more like 55-45 or something like that. Maybe 58-42, but definitely within 60-40 for sure. And everything else in the card was very, very clean. No print lines, no dimples, no edge or corner issues. So hoping we got close enough for a 10. And same thing here. The card looked perfect overall. Centering, again, just very, very, very slightly off. You can tell it's a little thicker on the left than the right, but very close. Again, what should be within PSA's tolerance. This is the green, white, purple premier level. Not numbered, retail parallel, but being the premier level, I thought this was a good one to send in. And then one more for the bulk submission. Got a Zaire Williams Revolution. This is the Sunburst, and this one is numbered 14 out of 60. Again, look this one over. I know Zaire Williams is not, typically I try to only submit the best players in each draft class, unless I get a really nice looking parallel, like a numbered one like this for a guy like Zaire Williams. So I think he's still injured, so maybe, who knows, maybe he'll come back from injury by the time this card gets graded and contribute to Memphis in the playoffs, but we'll see what we can get on that one. And then the last two cards, these are a little bit more valuable, so I'm setting these in at higher levels. This is Kobe's Row Zero Flair Showcase Rookie, and at first glance, it looks really nice. Again, edges, corners, centering, everything looks really good. There's no white showing on the back here or anything. And again, there's no way you're gonna be able to see it on the video. I can try, but there's just no chance. There's, again, it was the same issue with these two, where there were some very kind of faint lines on the front surface. And I think that the front surface on those Flair Showcase cards, they're very glossy and they're prone to those surface scratches. This one actually looked a lot worse. There was a lot more kind of scratches all over the front. Again, you can't see it with the naked eye on the video, but you can definitely see them when you look up close, depending on, the angle of the light and everything. So I'm expecting this one to grade worse than the Row 1 and Row 2. But being a Row Zero, it's a pretty valuable card, even as a raw copy. So I wanted to just go ahead and get this graded. Even if this comes back like a 6, I don't really care. At least that way I know if I ever needed to move it or trade it or whatever, I don't have to try and explain, oh, there's some scratches on it that you can't see. At least it'll be graded, and we'll have the grade show up right there. And then last but not least, so if you are familiar with my mail days, this is the second copy of this Ginobili Gold Refractor I picked up. The first one is already at PSA. It's actually in QA2 already for a sub that I sent in October. So that one is just flying. So hopefully that gets done soon. And the centering was a lot better on this one than the one I already sent in. So the one I sent in, I said probably a 9 at best. And when I saw the centering on this one, and even the back edges and corners look mostly good. There's a teeny bit of white up there, but it's so minuscule. So I thought this one might have a good shot at a 10, but when I was prepping for this video, unfortunately, you can see it right there. There's a little kind of surface indentation. Before I wiped the card down, I kind of ran my finger over it, so you can't feel anything. It's not like a dent or a divot. It's just kind of a little imperfection right there. But unfortunately, that probably means this one isn't gonna get a 10, which is a bummer because everything else looked really nice about it. So hoping for a 9 on this one. If the other one comes back a 9 and this one comes back a 9, I'll probably keep this one just because the centering is better. Kind of a bummer. Thought this might have a shot at a 10, but with that surface mark, probably not. But you never know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I would be very surprised if it comes back a 10, but I would be happy with a 9 on this one. So that's it. So we got big stack of cards going to PSA, all bulk stuff. We got 2 that I'm sending in at a higher level because they're more valuable. And then with BGS, we do have the 1 glass card and then a couple of Ginobili rookies. These 2 cards got rejected for minimum size requirements by PSA. This one I thought was a little bit undergraded, so I'm trying with BGS. So we'll see what happens with all these. That's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Again, stay tuned for next week. We'll have a PSA return coming back next week. More boxes we're going to break, and when this stuff comes back, we're going to go ahead and compare the return to what we thought when we were sending this in. So that's going to do it for today. Hope everyone enjoyed watching this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.